we pick up where Training Day, the movie, left off in Season 1, Episode 1 and 2 of Training Day, the TV show on AFTERBUZZ TV.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Yeah, classic.
Okay. My mom did not like me listening to this music at all. And it's
When Snoop had a flat top.
all right. Wow. So my name is TK Trinidad, and we have a lot to unpack. We're going to be doing episode 1 and 2 of Training Day, the TV show. But I had the privilege of actually watching the movie again, Training Day, the movie. Before we get into all of that, let's get into who our co-hosts are today.
Hey everybody, I'm Al Gragg. You can find me on Instagram at alg_Jamaica House Film, and you can follow me on Twitter at SoundClashCine.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy Emmanuel Wright.
Yo.
You can find me on Instagram at Young Camel Toe. That's YUNG Camel Toe. That's no lie. You can also find me on Twitter at Dearvid Spitz. That's my tag. Take that in. That's really my IG. That's no joke. That's not a troll IG.
I'm kind of scared to look at your. Okay. All right. We'll get back to that.
YUNG. All right.
Nobody's gonna forget that.
Yeah, we'll get back to that. So Training Day. So once I figured out that we were actually gonna be doing this, I wanted to kind of revisit the movie. And the movie actually came out in 2001, so 16 years ago, and Denzel actually won an Oscar for this. So I didn't fully appreciate this movie until like I'm grown now, and now I'm like, damn, all right. And there's just so many like gems in this movie. It's a really great movie, and obviously Denzel's just a beast in anything that he does. So it was just really interesting to see it now, because even when you watch the movie now, it's still relevant. True. Everything that's going on. True. So essentially how the TV show ties in with the movie. So spoiler alert, Denzel gets killed. Alonzo Harris gets killed at the end of the movie, and Detective Lockhart, who's kind of like the head honcho in the TV show, sends in Kyle Craig, who is the main character, and she wants him to go undercover to follow, what's his name? I just lost his name. To follow Frank, because she thinks that he's gonna fall in the path of Alonzo.
Right.
So let's kind of like first start off with the movie. What did you guys think of Training Day, the movie?
Training Day movie, it's the official OG classic, and you're right, it still holds up today. And I mean, it was just really relevant to me because I'm born and raised in LA, and I saw the whole like Rampart scandal go down, and you know, this training, I mean, both the movie and the film, I'm sorry, the movie and the TV show were both shot in the neighborhood where I grew up in, around the jungle. I grew up around the Baldwin Hills, Crenshaw area. So all this stuff like really resonates with me. And yeah, it's tough to kind of to do a TV show that'll live up to the film, but I'm just trying to have fun with it, see where it goes.
And then actually, for those people who don't know about the Rampart scandal, kind of break it down.
All right, back in the 90s, the Rampart scandal, you had a tactical unit called Crash, and that was specifically aimed at the hardcore cops who were taking down the gangs. And they just found out to be like a lot of corruption and a lot of manufactured cases and just a bunch of dirty cops. And Alonzo's character is actually based on one of the guys in the Rampart scandal. But think back, I mean, the tentacles were long. I mean, you know, they even had like some of the dirty cops were involved, you know, allegedly in like the whole Biggie shooting and the Tupac shooting. So this is like real stuff, real history.
Yeah. And what do you think of the movie?
Alonzo's my homie. Like every part of Alonzo's like get down, I was always with. Like, I don't know, there was a few parts of the movie where I was like, oh, come on, Ethan, like, I feel for you, dog. But Alonzo was just so
cool.
dope.
Yeah.
He was so cool. He was untouchable. I mean, of course, until the end. But before the end, he was untouchable. And yeah, I kind of want to see him in a TV show. I'm just going to say. He's not on a TV show, so this is not a spoiler alert.
Right.
But I hope to see him.
Like as a ghost or something?
Like a flashback. I want to see him and Frank just talking like, yo, what's up, man? All right, what can I do for you, homie? He's like, what you mean? I'm Alonzo, homie. He's like, oh, my bad, fam.
So what was really interesting about the movie is like, so you had Dr. Dre, Snoop, Macy Gray, like on top of obviously having Ethan Hawke in the movie, you just had so many great people that kind of appeared. Eva Mendes was in the movie as well. So it's just on the whole. But what I really like that I appreciate now is the quotes. So obviously we were talking about the main quote that everybody knows, everybody shouts out.
King Kong line? Okay, yeah, that's the funny. They kind of flipped it for this one though. Instead of King Kong ain't got nothing on me, they flipped it to like, I don't know, like Bill Paxton's character Frankie's compared to Godzilla now.
Right, and he had some like, just on the whole, it's like one of the quotes that I pulled out for the movies, like, you hear that, homie? You want to go to jail or you want to go home? It's like that one, and he says that throughout the movie. It's kind of like, it's one of those, you can apply it to today if you're kind of forcing your friend to do some crazy stuff. So, you know, there's all that type of stuff, but just a lot of great quotes in the movie and in the TV show. So now let's go back to the TV show. So what do you think of it overall?
I'm gonna have to, Alonzo's not in it as my homie, but I mean, Frank be coming with that hard, like, yo, I know what I'm doing, like, this is what's up. I don't know, Kyle Craig, though, he's a little like Kyle Craig. Like, can we just call him Craig? Grand Theft Auto styles.
Oh boy. So the main character, Kyle Craig, so his father, Bill, worked with Frank.
Right.
And his father got killed when he was a kid. So because of his father, his father was a cop, so he followed in his father's footsteps, and now he's a cop. And one of the reasons why he went into the forest is to find out who killed his father.
And of course, Kyle is like squeaky clean, you know, like heroic cop.
Right.
And
opening scene, he's saving a kid out a window.
Right, saving a baby. You know?
I mean, it's understanding, you know, you want to set him, you want to be able to not just empathize, but root for your main character. But I always like, you know, kind of like, I don't know, the darker characters resonate more with me. I'm more the anti-hero type.
They're more interesting, man.
Yeah,
I agree.
I'm rocking with Bill Paxton.
All right. So now, what do you think of what I read a lot of reviews, and some people were not liking the fact that they kind of switched the color lines, meaning that you know Alonzo in the movie was black, and you kind of switched it back and forth. Did that matter to you, or?
I like how they flipped it. I mean, you know, if anything, you know, instead of depicting the dirty cop being black, you're depicting the dirty cop being white, you know, and you're kind of holding up the young idyllic rookie cop is, you know, his young black brother, you know, on the straight and narrow. So I mean, I didn't have a problem with it. I thought it was cool, and you can't do an exact replication of the movie. You gotta be able to put some twists on it.
Switch it up, man. It's 2017. Tom Brady just came back with that crazy win. I hate him for that, man. And the Russians was involved. That's what I'm saying.
Oh my gosh, that was
Vladimir
such a
Putin
terrible loss, man. That was heartbreaking. That was we're not gonna get back into that again. One of the as far as I think we should as each episode goes, if you note any quotes, I think we should pull them out, because whoever's writing this, I mean, overall, I like where it's going, but whoever's writing is throwing in these gems, and I don't know who they're getting it from, but it's one of those like, okay, like, I'll take that. So Frank says, better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6.
Ooh.
Like,
Body bags.
That's a classic one. That's an old Ice Cube line too.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like so maybe that's what they're doing. They're kind of pulling out the references from like back in the day.
Yeah, there's a couple of Biggie lines in there too. I thought I caught.
Yeah, so definitely, like, if you see anything, let's shoot out and remind people of, you know, the classics. So episode 1, let's kind of take that apart. So what did you guys think of how the starting of it?
I like how they slowly brought it to our knowledge that Frank was actually partners with Kyle Craig's dad. Mm-hmm. Like, that was cool. I like how they kind of showed that. And I also like how he ends up talking about how, like, hey, man, look, your dad wasn't as squeaky clean as you thought he was.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, he has, you know, he was in the streets with us every day. Like, what do you think happened? You know.
So I'm wondering, so did Kyle think that his dad was, like, just wore the uniform? Or, like, I'm wondering what he thought.
I'm sure he thought his dad, you know, was the knight in shining armor, and his father wouldn't show him any other way. But what I liked about the opening, though, is just right off the bat how Bill Paxton's character Frank, he goes out with the Hollywood madam, like, you know, his lady is the pimpstress, you know what I mean? And what else?
You leave the toilet seat up every time you come over. Yeah, and Craig was just like, I keep calling him Craig. I'm calling him Craig, Kyle Craig. Craig was just like, what? You smashing up? He's like, yeah, you going back to your wife? Well, I get to hit this.
And the funny thing too, just to kind of almost, you know, we'll probably just go back and forth. The funny thing too is Holly, the Hollywood madam, she actually really gives some good advice. So I have a feeling that throughout the episode, she's gonna just be dropping gems, so Frank can kind of put if he has kind of questions, if he doesn't necessarily know which direction to go, she's kind of giving him advice without giving him advice.
And plus, she's a dope actress too. I'm sorry to cut you off, but Julie Benz, she was in Dexter. She played Rita, his girlfriend in Dexter.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I just
wow,
always loved her as an actress.
Yeah, so yeah, they put a lot of great actors and actresses for this show, but I find even just in general this season of TV shows, it's a lot of pulling from movies. Like, I don't know what, first it was like vampires, and now it's just like, let's take old school movies and make them TV shows.
Like old school cop shows, Lethal Weapon, Training Day.
Yeah,
people are watching them. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
It's an easy go-to too. Hollywood.
Yeah,
they don't have to be original.
And you think that you can actually pull that story and make it somewhat original. You didn't necessarily have to tie it in with the movie, but
True. Do you think if this show gets canceled, they will come back in a couple years with like Training Day Miami, Training Day New York?
I hope
not.
You
see that? Just keep it going, just the ball rolling.
I don't.
Alonzo's fifth granddad or grandkid is just like
the Law and Order.
You know what would have been good though, because Alonzo in the movie, because I think he was married to somebody and they never showed her, but Eva Mendez's son. That would have been a good either a movie or a show.
That's a good
like
one.
Him growing up.
That would have been cool.
Because he grew up in the hood.
That's true.
His dad, I think he knew. Yeah, he called him dad. So his dad died, or his dad disappeared when he was like 3 or 4. So it'd be interesting to see where he is today. That would have been a nice spinoff. So.
And you got to show how, even the anti-hero, he's a good father, got love for his children, got love for his side piece.
Y'all just stumping me today.
He do know.
And then it's true, actually, bringing it back to the kids. So Frank, he decides to take on this kid, Alan. So he's kind of now watching out for him. And to the point where he kind of lets the community know that this kid's taken care of. If you mess with him, then you mess with me.
Yeah.
And I think the main difference between Alonzo and Frank, and it might change over the course of the episodes, that he's not as dirty. Frank is not as dirty as Alonzo. Like, people still kind of respect him, whereas when Alonzo was walking through the hood, people wanted to kill him, but they didn't. They were just waiting for the opportunity. People genuinely, I think, have some respect for Frank because they know he's dirty, but he's not cutting them off.
I think Frank has a heart, though, too.
Yeah, for sure.
Frank, it just feels like anytime he has a conversation, even when Moreno comes out the car, Frank just blew up his house, had his homeboy Craig beat him up on the dirt, but after he was like, yo, let's have a conversation about this, let me help you out, where with Alonzo, they was like, please don't kill me right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But still, man, Frank's game is just ridiculous, though, because even though I guess he might come off as more affable, even the kid, he's still blackmailing him. It's like, yeah, you work for me for life now, right, with all this money. I don't know. There's nobody who kind of gets away scot-free from him.
Yes,
but he's nice about it.
Yeah.
and it gives you a good.
I think with the kid, the payoff would be for the kid. If the payoff is you owe me for life, meaning you better stay out of the streets, you better go to college. Right. You might do the opposite of what I don't think he's gonna set the kid up to be a drug. I just
have the worst images in my mind of Frank manipulating this kid when he grows up, and just maybe I don't want to skip it to episode 2. But
I don't think Frank's gonna be alive for that. I don't think you put too much hope in this Frank character.
Spoiler alert! When I looked at IMDb, they only have him for 5 episodes, and Craig. Now you have me calling him Craig. Craig is in for 12.
Oh.
So I don't know.
We'll see.
Craig's here to stay.
Yeah, but I feel like they can't kill Frank off.
You can kill Frank off.
Well, I mean,
you can kill Frank.
Even if you kill Frank, though, you gotta find. I don't know. I think it's tough for that young actor to just carry this whole franchise like that. That would be kind of tough.
I feel like, and maybe because I just recently watched the movie literally 2 days ago, I feel like he's trying to fill big roles because he knows that it's associated with Denzel. Forget everybody else's movie, it's Denzel.
True.
So people are gonna watch to see that slight comparison and see if he can fill those shoes.
And and shout out to I guess Black Hollywood Live. I guess the actor Justin Cornwell. He was actually on one of the AfterBuzz shows.
Oh, nice.
After Black Hollywood Live. So yeah, just check it out.
Shout out.
So let's go to episode 2, because episode 1 was kind of establishing. He blew up some stuff. He kind of did the typical I'm gonna help you, you help me, everybody. I think Kyle gets kidnapped. He did some dirty deals, and now Kyle's back in the force again to say. So now we skip to episode 2 now, and it's kind of funny because we're still interested. There's a high school scene, and Holly gets kidnapped out of the high school, which is kind of which is almost kind of funny. You remember Denzel in was it Man on Fire?
Yeah, there's another little blonde girl.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know.
It gets the Caucasian community.
So
Holly
Holly gets kidnapped, and instead of kind of using the regular routes like calling the police and have those detectives do it, they bring Frank in because they know that Frank is not going to follow the rules.
Right. And plus, he really is like the same thing. Not to go back to the whole Alonzo thing in the movie, but those dirty cops are really kind of like the best cops and who like really like produce the most. As far as like solving crimes, that whole thing. You got to be a monster to beat a monster. So he's effective. Go ahead.
It's kind of one of those things though where I definitely believe. Like all these TV shows and movies that we see, whether it's like cops or whatever, even like something like as crazy as Scandal, that's happening. Like people, this is not a figment of somebody's imagination. It came from somewhere.
Yeah.
So the fact that there are dirty cops there are special units that are targeted towards getting something done, and they don't necessarily follow the rules, is almost kind of scary because, are they covering other things up? There's so many layers to,
But they have to be there. That's just like how human life is, you know what I mean? There's outliers. There's people who don't follow the rules. There's people who don't follow the rules but check the people who don't follow the rules so they here, but they cool enough that, you could trust them.
Oh,
and you're talking to somebody, who's like, the cops have been there, to save me as well as, been on my head. I've been on the other side of it. So, but I mean, I would never make a blanket statement about, how all cops are bad. There's some really great cops.
Definitely not.
Yeah, but I was just saying that to say, I think we're all kind of on the same page. And like, at the end of the day, these guys are just human beings. And if they have to cover up something to watch their partner's back or their own, they'll cover it up too.
It's true.
I mean, that's what most people do on their job.
There you have it. So, Chief Lockhart, who's the one who brought Kyle in to spy on Frank. So now Frank's in a really interesting position because he wants to find out who killed his dad. And through the conversations, I believe in part of episode 1, he finds out that Frank and Kyle's dad actually worked together. So now Kyle doesn't necessarily know what to do because if he rats out Frank, then he knows he probably won't get the answers. So now he's playing both sides. So Chief Lockhart brings them in, and now they have to go and save Holly. And the reason they bring them in is because, they're not going to necessarily follow the rules. So the first thing that they're going to go to is the Burns, which the first thing I automatically think of Simpsons, like the Burns family. Like, why would you name them Burns? There's so many other names, just like, why would you name Kyle Craig? It's just so many other names out there. But the first thing that I thought was Mr. Burns. But anyways, they go to the Burns, who's Holly's mom and dad, and, they kind of want to find out what the whole scenario, the situation is. And, they waited for the call to come in, and it was, I think it was Farsi. It was two guys from, I think, Arabic. Two Arabic guys who...
Right. The rookie squad.
The rookie squad. Which they didn't know at the time. And they said, you have to give us some money by this time. And Frank was like, yeah, no dice. And it's kind of one of those things, like, how many times do you practice before you know exactly what to say? You know what I'm saying? Like, the fact that he hung up on them and knew that they were going to call back is like, what trial and error? Like, how many people had to die in that process for you to figure out, like, hey, they're going to call back eventually, but 5 people had to die prior to that?
I don't really think Frank's that tactical. I think Frank kind of just does what he feels is right and what's going to work and just goes with it. Like, he's like, hey, look, if I say no, nothing's going to happen. You know what I mean?
I don't know. It's
Frank moves like that.
Well, he thankfully, thanks to the writers, it worked out.
Thanks to the writers.
They called back and they negotiated a deal, and essentially it was it $5 million?
It was $750, right?
Yeah, they wanted $5 million. Frank told them no, and then they bargained down.
Yeah.
And they met them, and now you think, so now I'm thinking, okay, well, we're like halfway through the episode, so what's going to happen next? And then they get killed, sniped. And this is a really good part that I love, the fact that a lot of women are being put into play and they're not playing the usual roles.
Oh my God, there was a badass girl gang.
Yeah. So Lena, who essentially is the head honcho of this whole organization. The two guys who kidnapped Holly, they decide to go rogue, and the rookie squad, and they get shot for doing that. And so Lena comes in, she takes the money and takes the girl back and says, you know, the deal's off because they're dead, and you know we need to renegotiate.
And that was the former like assassin squad for Mahatma Gandhi. Or
yes.
No,
Gaddafi.
My bad. I'm over here.
Gandhi. That
Peaceful
would
and
make kind of
killing Mahatma.
You know, he had to have a squad.
Gandhi, Gaddafi.
It rhymes.
So how the story goes, according to the TV show, is that now you have me thinking Gandhi. Gaddafi had, instead of having male bodyguards, essentially, he had female bodyguards because he figured that most people wouldn't shoot the females.
See, that's a smart man right there.
Yeah. But,
I mean, to hell with what he did, but smart man.
There
for
you
that.
go. So now they're essentially trained assassins.
And they're like part of some like non-religious order and trained assassins too.
So I guess and they're hot. So
Yeah, you can't beat it.
Can't complain with that. So then Frank is unpacking everything, and he realizes that Lena and Mr. Burns, there's something before that, so it's not necessarily a straight kidnapping. So they know each other. So he finds out that through one of the councilmen that Mr. Burns I think it was like after the recession, he needed a lot of money. This councilman contacted him and put him in contact with Lena, who got him the money for his business.
Right.
And here we are. And now I believe he owed them some money, and Lena was
and actually too, he tried to Burns tried to back out, like when he saw like the caliber of people he was dealing with. Right. They got too hot, but they're like, nah, you can't back out. And that's when I think they basically started leveraging him ultimately into this blackmail. Right.
So now he's like, well, we should just pay him the money, and then they realize that she's not going anywhere. So Frank, being who he is, comes up with a plan of essentially setting, it's almost like chess with folks. So he goes to Amir, who is essentially higher up than Lena, and tells Amir that Lena's been lying to him, and essentially sets it up where the time that Frank is going to meet Lena, Amir can come and get Lena for the trade-off, and he can still get his money. Right. I think that's, somewhat of how it all
sounds good to me.
Sounds good.
how it all went out.
That was a lot.
I mean, it's one of those situations like these TV shows where they have these complex scenarios where they're like, it's like chess. Okay, this person's gonna say this and this person's gonna do that. It's like,
and so much happens off screen too. It's like, okay, this happened because I did this and you did this.
Yeah, it's so many players. Like, how did he know that Amir was gonna say yes and Wethy said no, and how did you know? And then he has his whole team behind him.
But he does keep saying after each, because Kyle looks at him like, how'd you know that was gonna happen? He goes, because I would have done that. He always references to that, because that's what I would have done.
Yeah, so essentially him being dirty is, the same as everybody else. He's just on the different side.
He keeps trying to make himself like Lena, though. He's like, yeah, Lena's dope, but
he wants to bang.
But she kind of wants some too, right? It's like that love hate.
It's gonna be like a Mr. and Mrs. Smith scenario.
Exactly.
Yeah,
she doesn't want him.
No, she wants it. She wants it.
No, she's playing. I see no lie.
She might kill him after, but she wants it.
Yeah, I think she's curious about him.
Yeah.
Because it might be a new concept, like, because I think some people are so used to being cops and not necessarily dirty cops still being on the law and doing their job. So that might be intriguing to her.
But and I would say here's something that
But she was the assassin for who? What's his name?
Gaddafi. But
she don't give no Fs. You know
but
what I mean?
the point is, if he was able to outmaneuver her, I think that's always gonna intrigue her a little bit. Just even that little bit.
And just because she doesn't give a F, that doesn't mean that she doesn't want to sleep with him. It could just be,
she
a
just
snack.
want to get her thing on.
Yeah, snack and then kill him. This is the praying
Snack and
mantis.
then
Is that what they did?
Speak on it, TK.
Did you just have a dance for that? Did you just do it? Did you just the praying mantis?
Oh gosh. So the best part is because she's such a bad. And then I was also wondering what happened to her squad. It's like she didn't come alone.
Oh, she killed him.
No, her girls. Yeah.
She killed them all.
It's like, so that I think there was like a little bit of a snafu with that one, because she definitely wouldn't have come alone. So what happened to her squad?
Yeah, they're all in the wind. It's just a plot hole.
Yeah. So anyways, Amir gets them. Frank gets Holly back. So Amir is now taking Lena to kill her. And the really great scene is she pulls out it's not a knife. like
some little black finger
a
blade.
blade.
Yeah.
And so you know what's gonna happen because
Right.
she's a trained assassin.
Yeah.
So she kills them, hits him in the ditch, and she's also thinks ahead too because she has Frank's gun, and she decides to call him. Like, because she didn't have to do any of that either, which leads me to believe that she does want to sleep with him. Because she didn't have to call him.
That's a good point.
And plus, it's more dramatic too. When you're like, "Hey, guess what I just did?"
Just a little FYI, just
She's
killed
a
him.
very bad assassin. I hope she wasn't doing that with what's his name? Gaddafi.
Gaddafi. Gaddafi.
Like, hey man, yeah, I just killed your village. Like, I hope she wasn't doing that.
She's telling on herself. She's snitching on herself
again?
left and right.
Yeah, but if you're that bad, then you know, does it really matter?
Gaddafi's like, hey man, stop telling our secrets. Lena, you messing it up.
So she kills them. She lets Frank know, and if you remember, at the beginning of the episode, she shot the front tire of Frank's car.
Smart move.
Knew it was the gun, took his gun, and she said she killed Amir and his bodyguard with Frank's gun.
That was smart. That was hella smart.
That was smart.
Yeah, but I don't know if anybody's gonna care. Not like, you know, as far as like on the police side of things.
Oh, because
he's
Frank's
not on the
just
right.
dirty. So
Yeah, well, Amir's not on the right side of the law either.
But it's still
So-
just more leverage for the future, I think. I don't even
Right.
think that has to come up. She wouldn't use it unless she needed it. But it's just one of those, I think, just one of those buried secrets, you
Right.
know, that, you know, is
I
going to be
got you,
bubbling.
Frank.
Yeah. And then that also leads me to believe that she's gonna be in a lot more episodes too.
That would be cool.
Yeah, there's no reason why you would need her. If she called, that means she has to be somewhere in the mix.
You
So,
think she's gonna be helpful, or you think she's gonna be like not good? I feel
Probably
like she's gonna
both.
be a mercenary.
Yeah,
she's gonna be a mercenary throughout the series.
Yeah,
That just pops up.
She'll come
Definitely.
in. She'll probably come in and out. One minute you'll think she's his
Yeah.
ally, and another
Right.
time she'll flip on him.
yeah,
Right.
definitely a Mr. and Mrs. Smith type thing. So now we have Frank. He brings Holly back to
Holly.
he brings Holly back
Save
to
me,
the
Daddy.
Burns and everything's okay. But what I really like, and this is the I think the really difference between Frank and Alonzo, is Frank tells Mr. Burns that he needs to tell his wife everything that happened, and he's
That
like,
is
if you
true.
don't tell her, then I'm gonna tell her.
Which is weird because he was just telling Kyle Craig to lie to your wife.
Exactly.
Yeah, what's up?
So, but I think when you involve the children, like the fact she was kidnapped was because of him. So it's a little bit different.
So Frank likes the kids.
Yeah, Frank's because kids are technically innocent.
Okay.
Like, I mean, she didn't do anything. She didn't do it. Like, it's not like she caused something and then she got
That's true.
kidnapped. So that wasn't her fault.
I
It was
wonder
the
if that's
father.
going to be Frank's Achilles heel, like
Yeah,
whole
a
Scarface
kid.
thing, you know,
You know?
no kids, you know.
Maybe, yeah.
I know.
But again, I only see him in 5 episodes according to IMDb,
Right,
so
right,
we'll see.
right.
I could be totally wrong. You know, they might be leading me astray, but
We'll see.
you know, we'll see what happens. So overall, you know. So Frank does all of that, and then also the last part too is when Kyle Craig talks to Lockhart, and she questions him about, like, you know, she wants some dirt, and he's now in this position where it's just like, I can't give up the dirt because I still need the information. So she gives him the dirt. This was really, now he's thinking on his feet as well now, because he told her, oh my gosh, what did he tell her? He told her about the Burns, how he owed them money, but they didn't really investigate it because you told them not to look into
Burn.
not to investigate it, just get the girl back.
Yeah.
So now she's realizing, okay, you know, I need to kind of figure out this situation.
And he's learning the game. I mean, he's becoming more crafty. Probably gonna get a little more dirt on him too.
right. Oh, of course, he's
Yeah.
gonna have to. I think at the end of the season, he's gonna kill somebody.
At the end of the season, I give him halfway.
Yeah, I think at the end. I don't know about halfway. I think he's gonna struggle, and then Frank's gonna put him in some compromising positions, and he might have to protect Frank.
Right.
Yeah. And not just self-defense, but maybe like a bad kill. You know.
Oh, yeah, that could be
You know.
It's
possible.
like an accident.
Yeah.
Or I mean, like he made I accidentally
Like, oh,
shot him.
I didn't.
Whoops.
Like, oh, my bad,
Didn't mean
Frank.
to
Frank's
put
like,
that
what do you
evidence down
mean?
there.
Sorry.
And then definitely, I want to see more of his. Is it his wife or his girlfriend?
His
Definitely-
girlfriend?
Yeah, I just
Talking
want to see.
I wasn't
She had,
feeling
like,
I
two-
didn't like
performance.
her. I kept looking at my phone every time she came up. It just felt too. Oh, how was your day, baby? Oh, you know, I just went out. I was sitting in my squad car. Actually, no, I'm lying too. That's not what happened. Oh, really?
I don't think,
know.
and I don't think you're allowed to. If he's on a special unit, I don't think he's allowed.
SIS is their unit.
Yeah, I don't think he's allowed
He's
to
not.
say what's going on.
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, and I don't want to be too hard on the actress because I mean, at a certain point, you got to follow the material too.
So you have to.
Yeah, I mean, the writing can be kind of suspect at points too. At least they didn't really develop her character.
Right, so that's why I'm waiting to see. Like, hopefully they develop her a little bit more because if she's gonna have 1 or 2 scenes each episode, then because eventually she's gonna get kidnapped.
There you go.
So I mean, we want to know a little bit more about her, so then we could feel empathetic to the situation. Versus now, she's only been in 2 or 3 scenes. Like, she's good. She should die. Like
she should die.
Let's actually actually like the character where you're now rooting for Kyle to protect her.
I just want to see some drama between them, or just something happen. Every time we see them, it's just them, just like, so hey, how was
no
your day?
passion.
Both of them are too boring.
Cool,
Yeah,
no
passion. What do you want? Like Boom Chica from the block or something?
Even when they were about to have sex, it was just like, oh yeah, baby, and she just hops on. And
really? See, I didn't even remember that part.
I'm like Frank. The best sex has to be dirty.
It was just she just hops on and he just standing there holding her. He's standing there holding her like this, and it just cuts.
Why do I have a feeling, Al? Like Holly. you know Holly, and you run those.
I just like do research, ask around. I don't have any personal experience.
Do research. What is this?
If you say so, but we'll find out as our season progresses. So as far as predictions, what do you guys have?
Alonzo's coming back. He's gonna be in like a blast from the past. It's gonna be him and Frank talking about some real dirty stuff.
They cannot afford.
And
Denzel.
Alonzo's gonna punk Frank. We gonna see Frank get punked from the past, and actually Alonzo's gonna punk him so hard that we're gonna see Frank become Frank. He's like, never again, man.
You threw out the praying mantis out of it.
Wow.
I got one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something that actually can happen.
That can happen.
They cannot afford Denzel. Denzel is not coming on TV.
Well, if they just ask him, yo, Denzel, can you just come back for like a blast from the past type feature?
That's not. You
don't think Denzel?
He's gonna have to bring in his writers. That's Denzel's
I will
particular.
say though, what Emmanuel's talking about, that's been like the trend, is like crossing over, like having different characters come over on another show and from a movie and all that. I just don't see them going there here though, as much as I'd like to.
You think Ethan's gonna make an appearance?
I don't think Ethan's gonna show up.
I mean, that would be a good one.
Oh, Moreno did though. He's in both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean,
what if Ethan and Frank had like some relational ties?
Where are you going with this?
Yeah.
Like let's say Ethan is the uncle of Frank.
Like if he went back and helped out Alonzo's kid. Alan, or no, what's Alonzo's kid from the movie?
No, I'm saying like, what if Ethan is like some forefather of Frank? I don't know how far back it's dated. Yeah, because
Ethan would have been like what, late 20s in the movie,
right?
So plus 16, right? But it still feels like Frank would be older.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay. I think all that is just good fan fiction. It's good, you should submit it as a script.
Yeah.
But as far as predictions, I think that they're just gonna get way more deep. Frank and Kyle, they're just gonna probably gonna bond over like a body or something. Shit's gonna get real with them.
Body.
No, yeah, I definitely think so too. Because then I think Kyle's gonna get in a position where he's gonna see. Because I think how they're writing Frank's character, it's like, yes, he does dirty stuff, but he does it to dirty people. Meaning that, like for instance, for the Burns, like he didn't have to tell Mr. Burns to tell his wife. That was, so I think he does.
Which I thought was kind of salty at the same time too, but
I don't think he liked Mr. Burns.
Yeah, there you go.
Well,
there you go.
Yeah, because he put his daughter in jeopardy.
No, but I think even before that they had history, because he seemed like he just didn't like him.
It just sounds like he just doesn't like pretentious rich people.
That's all he was talking about. Yeah, them and their like lattes and yoga
the house
and
I just don't think he likes pretentious rich people.
Stereotyping, man.
Well,
stereotyping rich white people.
That's what they were.
Yeah.
I don't know, when I saw them on the screen, I was like, please don't help her. Like, please kidnap Holly. I wanted Holly to die so bad. I wanted Holly to be out and be like, yes, you got him.
I went to school with girls like Holly in high school, so
all Hollies need some help.
I'm not trying to save them.
All Hollies matter.
All Hollies matter.
All Hollies matter.
We're derailing. Let's get back on track.
Get you a Holly today at your local Walmart. $9.95.
Well, we always find a Holly in the hood.
I definitely think that Kyle's gonna bond with Frank because Kyle's gonna see that Frank is just not a dirty cop. He has some integrity.
Do you think Kyle's gonna change him?
No. I think if anything, Kyle's gonna change because he's gonna see that in order to get things done,
bingo,
he's gonna have to do some dirty work.
Yeah. Okay.
Meaning that you might have to blackmail people, you might have to tell a lie to get somewhere to get to the bottom of the case versus being, the TV version of a cop where you're just doing paperwork and there's only so much you can do within the law. True. So now being part of this unit, you can go through the back channels and get stuff done.
You want an omelet, you got to break a few eggs.
That's true.
Write that down, folks. So, of course, every episode, it seems like they're just going to be presented with another case or another problem. So we're going to see how that comes into play. But definitely, I don't know if Lena's going to be in the next episode, but she's going to be somewhere. She's going to be somewhere floating around. And then also, you want to see Chief Lockhart, what her story is. Because I'm sure, so she knew Alonzo because she referenced him. Mm-hmm. So it'll be interesting to see where she was because she wasn't the chief back then.
Right. Yeah, so they used to work together. He's probably got dirt on her.
She's done dirt.
Or she's like his ex-wife.
Oh, that would be
the side
crazy.
piece.
That would be crazy. Okay. So now you're thinking there. Okay, now you're thinking.
Now you've corrupted me. So
I hope to see Moreno in every episode. Every time I saw Moreno, I just had a good laugh. He was like, "Hey, what's up, Holmes? Yeah, man."
He does. I do like his character. So yeah, and you could almost be like a unofficial informant.
Right.
Yeah, like he's not an informant, but if you ask him like the question the right way, you'll be able to get some information.
Right. He's like that tough guy that breaks down once you hit him once. He's just like, "Hey man, what you doing? Oh, my bad, fam. Yeah, he over here."
And that actor's name, FYI, is Noel Guglielmi. Anyway, excuse my pronunciation, but shout out to him. We like him.
Shout out Moreno.
And do you have like any other roles that he's played before? Or?
I went on his IMDb page, but I couldn't, honestly, I just kind of breezed through it. He does get typecast as like, like the Latino thug.
He was thug number 3 in Friday.
Now, do you think Dre or Snoop is going to make
that would be funny.
appearance?
I don't know. Well, they're going to make an appearance on our soundtrack every time before we start the show. That's what we're going to Dre and Snoop fix.
But Snoop like an old version or even just a different character in general.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's a lot of predictions. Apparently, Alfonso's gonna come back in spirit. Alonzo. I said Alfonso. Alonzo might come back in spirit, so we'll see with that. And Al's gonna go and do some research.
Do some research.
I make the sacrifices so you guys don't have to. Let us know. I'll take one for the team.
He's gonna let us know, what the Hollywood madams are saying.
How old was Holly really? How old was Holly? Let's build a case here.
So he's gonna come back and let us know how it all goes down in the madam's house with the women and all that good stuff. Definitely, if you haven't seen the movie Training Day, if you haven't seen it in a long time, I definitely recommend watching it again because that is just a masterpiece. So definitely do that. Don't necessarily compare it to the show, but now you have a reference on that writing compared to I think the show's actually doing well. Second episode's doing pretty well compared to other shows.
And as far as a shout out to that whole aspect from the movie, Antoine Fuqua, who directed the original Training Day, he's the executive producer on the show, and he's going to be directing some episodes coming up this season.
Oh, nice. So yeah, that will definitely we'll see what happens. I'm hoping for good things. I don't necessarily know if they'll pass season 1 just because there's just too much content out there.
Yeah. Training Day Miami coming to you soon.
I feel like you could be in Training Day Miami. You have the shirt going. Yeah.
He's gonna write that. You should write that script.
So you guys can catch us next week as we're unpacking episode number 3. Do you guys have any final thoughts or final words for the folks?
Everybody, if you don't mind, check out our other show. We do an after show for the Young Pope. Me and my homegirl Jessie, and that's on Mondays at 7 p.m.
Okay.
If you like HBO's The Young Pope.
All right.
Anything?
R.I.P. Alonzo.
Oh my gosh! And what's your Twitter handle?
Hey, pour out a 40 for the homie. My Twitter handle is David Spitz. My Instagram is Young Camel Toe. That's YUNG Camel Toe.
we'll unpack that one next week as well. If you have any, make sure when you check us out on iTunes and YouTube, AfterBuzz TV, leave your comments. Let us know if we got it wrong. Let us know if we got it right. Give us your predictions, all that good stuff, and let us know if you want any guests on the show. We can work on that as well. My name is TK Trinidad. If you have any comments for me, hit me up on everything: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff. TK Trinidad, like the country. Sometimes I spell it out. Google it, Trinidad country. So kind of do all that good stuff. Do you have anything else to say?
Al Gragg, Alg_Jamaica House Film is my IG, and follow me at SoundClash
Booyaka!
Young Camel Toe.
Oh, young
Booyaka,
Campbell.
booyaka,
All right,
booyaka.
guys, it's going to be an interesting season.
It's going to be a rough ride.
Yeah, we'll catch you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.